Good morning again, everybody. Glad you could join us today. And so we are going to do ornament. And I think this is a very, we call it ornament, but, it doesn't necessarily need to be for Christmas. There's another sample with just flowers and another one just with the colored paper. And then this can be an ornament, but can be, I'll show you more examples later on, but it can be a little booklet, like a tiny book, a tiny thing that you can give as a, fill in a card and put as a, I use them as like a tags when I give a present. So there's lots of ways, of using this. I am going to use colored paper, and because it's easier to see the folds, and you can see this, and different kinds of papers. I'm going to do it with like the normal origami paper, but there's this paper that I really like, which is like the one I did, this orange one, and it's this tent, which is origami paper. It comes like on the same sizes, like 6 by 6, but in all different colors. And like I have a blue set here, but this is like the yellows, oranges set. And the weight of the paper is a little bit heavier, so it's not as flimsy as the origami paper, but it folds really well. You can still see like the fold, it's really easy to fold, but because it's heavier, it holds the weight a little bit. It holds the shape a little bit better. So, and I really like to work with this. And it was some origami teacher that got me hooked on that. And I think it only comes in colors, but we can check it out, and Amazon has them. So normally we use at least 5 squares for this fold, for this ornament, but you can use more. Like this one has 6. And it all depends on what you want to do with that. So like I wanted a pattern, like a repeated pattern. So if I only had 5, it will be a little bit different, awkward. So I did 6 on this one. So like if you want to make a pattern, you have to, kind of think about how you are going to put them together. But if you don't care, like I have 5 on this one, and it still looks good. So, but at least, so that's why in the list of materials, I asked at least for 5 squares. And I'm also going to use a 6 by 6, this one. Yeah, 6 by 6, just because for demonstrations purpose, the bigger you see it better. But I'll show you later some small ones, and I really like to do them like in small size. Okay, shall we start? Okay, so the first thing you have to remember is that, do you want your pattern, like I'm going to pretend that this has a pattern, so it's the color, I'm going to call it pattern, so that you wanted the pattern outside, like this ones, okay? You wanted the pattern outside, and inside is plain. So what you have to do is you place your square with the pattern facing the table, okay? Facing down, okay? And now we are going to do the first fold, and we are just going to join the 2 sides. And as here, you can use your bone folder. The nice thing about this paper.
Oh, there you go, Maria. You're back on.
Okay. Okay, so if you want the pattern to be showing like on the outside and not inside, you have your pattern facing down on your table, and you are going to join one side to the other and make your first fold. You can use bone folder, or sometimes like the part of your scissors, or this paper is so thin that, you know, even just your finger, will be enough. Okay, so now you are going to open, you're going to rotate it to the other side, 90 degrees, and you are going to fold the other two sides, okay? So let's fold this again, okay? You're going to open it up, and then you will have two lines, okay? Two valley lines, okay? So the paper is divided in four. Now you are going to flip it. And so you have the pattern facing you, you know, just turn it around a little bit. So instead of a square, you have like the losango facing you. And it's just because it's easier to fold this way. And we are going to fold one corner to the other, to the opposite corner. And okay, just make sure that it's really well pressed, and we are going to do this only one time, okay? So now we are done folding. You see there's a valley line here, diagonal. You are going to poke one finger, like touch the middle, the center of the underneath, and you see that it popped up. We are going to press on these lines on the side and just fold it like this. And that's it. You'll have your first square folded. Just go, you know, with your finger, with your bone folder, because, you know, origami is all about crisp folds. So, and that's it. We have our first square folded. So now we have to do 4 more. Okay. Is everybody okay on time? Is this
Yep.
good? Okay.
Good job.
Okay, so I'm not going to use this one because it has same color, so you don't see. Okay. Oh, there's 2 here. Okay, so I wanted the pattern outside, so I'm going to put it down, pattern down. We're going to meet the sides one time, fold. Going to open it up, turn it 90 degrees, fold it, and open it up, making sure that we have the 4 lines and a little bit hard to see. Okay, and now we are going to flip it. Just turn it a little bit so it's easier to make the diagonal fold. This one in particular needs to be very crisp because of the poking. So there's the center. Oops. Okay, so you have like the 3 lines, right? So you are going to poke it, and it kind of almost does it by itself, and press on the diagonal lines. And you know, sometimes you can have like tell it where to go a little bit. And there we are. We have our second square folded. So here we go, continue. Okay, one more, pattern down. one side to the other. Open it up, one side to the other. Flip it, one corner to the opposite corner. Flip it and press. So sometimes you can, like, there's this line of the square, and you can kind of lead it to the other line, so it's to help close the gap, so the the fold. So yeah, on our serge, like just once. Okay, pattern down, one to the other. On the other side. Flip it, turn a little bit, corner to corner. Pocket, some pressure here, and that's it. Okay, now I'm going to do the last two ones in green, and I'm going to do it, instead of having the pattern out, I'm going to have the pattern inside. So then I'm going to start with the pattern facing me. One side to the other. Other side. Flip it, turn it a little bit. Corner to corner. Good. See the diagonal lines, and fold it. So now you see the pattern is inside. So when we put this all together, they'll be, like green, and then all the other ones with the pattern inside or outside, sorry. Okay. These papers are really easy to fold, so. Okay, one more. Flip it. Corner to corner, only one time. Okay, some pressure there. Lead the way, side to side, and that's it. So you notice that I folded 6, and just because of the kind of making, to help make a pattern, but and then you can also try. One thing that I do now, that if everybody's done with the folding, we are going to put this together. And one way that I sometimes do it is I use just some tape, and just kind of like masking tape, and glue them with the tape before applying the glue. So if I make any mistake, then I still have time to correct my mistake instead of starting over again, because the paper is so thin that when you glue it, it's forever glued. So, and it rips if you take it apart. So, so are we ready to start putting this together? Gretchen, do you think everybody's okay? Yes, Jay?
Yes, I think everybody looks to be ready. I don't see
Any questions in the
anything
chat?
more in the chat. I think we're good.
Okay. Okay. So now you have all these squares folded, and you have like this. So an opening, right? Okay. So the way we are going to put this together is we are going to have all the squares facing the same way. Okay. The opening. So there will be all openings on this side, and then on the other side you'll have like a closed thing, like, you know, it's closed, there's no opening. So what you can do, so you don't, you know, you might not and it doesn't matter because it doesn't spoil the origami, the ornament, is you can put like a little you know, like a little cross where the place, you know, so then like on that part that it's closed, okay, put a little cross, and then put another cross there, so you know that this, you are going to glue them, and you are going to glue them together, okay? So the cross is going to be on the same, and because we are going to glue it, you will not see it afterwards, okay? When it's all glued, you don't see it. So let's mark them, you know, just so like on, you can do it on both sides of the papers. You can just put, and you can do this also like in pencil. Just remember that it's on the part that it's, you know, it's closed, okay? Opposite to this. So here you have this thing that's closed, and here you don't. So let's just put a mark in all of them.
Could you go over that again? Which corners that we're marking?
Yes. So let's pick up this one maybe. So when you have this, you have like, it's kind of open, right? Looks like a duck mouth, you know, a bird mouth, right? A bird beak. So it's open. And this side, you have the folds inside. So you have like a pointy fold. You see the difference between that and this? Can you see it? So if you fold it correctly, inside you have these two triangles that face each other, and then kind of a close with a square, okay? And then on the other side, you cannot open, you don't see the inside of the fold, okay? You just have like a triangle, maybe a rectangle, a square, I'm sorry. And then you see the color inside, okay? You don't see the white part. So that corner over there, it's where you are going to put the mark. You okay? The person that asked that, I don't know. So I'm going to mark this one again. So you see the pointy thing. And then pointy thing again. Okay. Everybody good? Okay. So now I have 4 colors and 2, like 4 patterns and 2 plain ones, and I'm going to kind of decide where I want them. So I think I'm going to want them. Okay, so actually I'm going to have 3. Okay, 1 color because actually, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you have your mark on that corner, and then that you are going to join with another mark. Okay, so now we can do this. As I said before, we can use like just a little bit of a double side, masking tape, just fold it. So you are going to put the glue, the tape there. Going to just fold it in half, put another one there. Make sure that you have your mark that goes with the mark. Okay, so with the pressure. And then when you start putting them all together, you can see that you have all, like these pointing things. And then on this side, they are all like, they don't open, okay? Well, they open a little bit because I didn't put the tape there, but they should be like closed like this, okay? Okay. Just a tiny bit. And then my corner, marked corner with the other marked corner. Another piece. Marked corner with another marked corner. And I remember that I marked both sides. So I know that that side is marked because it goes on top of the marked one. And one more. Marked corner with another marked corner. Okay. And now we have 2 sides to the last side left to glue, and we are going to do that marked corner with the first one that we did. And here we are. See, we have like the pattern I chose to have like a plain all patterns outside and the 2 patterns inside. And that's it. So if I think, oh yeah, okay, so this is well glued, that's the way I want it. So I can go back and take the little tape out. Take a little taped out and start applying my glue. So I'm using a glue stick because this paper is really thin. And then if you use like the regular PVA that we use on, in book binding, it gets too wet. And I really don't like it very much. So I'm going to just put a little bit of, just go around and put a little bit of glue. Now, making sure that I'm going to separate all of them just because it's easier to glue them. So still making sure that I have the mark with the mark, okay? And try to be, as close as possible. And maybe with your bone folder, make sure that all the sides are really good, and we'll have them good, okay? And now on to the next one. So a little bit of glue. And then making sure you have the corner with the corner. Okay. Do this. Okay, mark to the mark, corner to the corner, and one more. And it's, you know, the was actually Nancy that kind of suggested those marking the corner, because, and it's easy, you know, it's very easy to, you know, flip them. Even I have them like all in a row, but like I have them and the mark is over there, and you know, it's very easy to, you know, if this gets flipped around and you know, you touch it and they are so, you know, they fly in your on your table. So the mark really helps you kind of don't make a mistake, not make a mistake. Okay, so I have my cross, my corner with my corner, and I have one more. So what we found was that the bigger the paper, it looks like the more squares you need. It's just because it gives it body. You know, if I only had like 5, you know, it will still be okay and do make an effect, but you know, I like it better with 6 in this case. And 4 I don't think are enough to make, you know, the round shape and to make the star shape. Okay, so now we have all of them together, point to point, and we are just missing the, you know, the last one to attach and to complete the circle. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on one side. And now there's no room for mistakes. I know that they are going to be joined like that. And might hold like more than one piece, just to, and now you have to go with your fingers because you cannot set it on the table any longer. And that's it. They are all together. Now, let's clean this table here. Okay. Everybody okay? Everybody put them together?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Okay, so our next step is to just make a little hole, and so we can put like the little thread to hang it. Okay, so we can do this several ways, of course. I like to use the Japanese puncture because, you know, makes perfect holes, but you can use just your hole, or, you know, if you are going to thread it, like the thread, you can use even the needle with that. So I'm going to do one with my Japanese picture, and then here. So for the little loop, we can use, you know, whatever we want. You know, you can use any thread. Okay, let's do a brownish one here. You can use thread. We can use ribbons. A friend of mine just gave me this, and these are so beautiful. They are silk ribbons, and they are so tiny. So, you know, oops, like they are really tiny. And let's see if I can thread them on a needle, or yeah, I can. Okay, so. So if you don't want to make knots, actually the other one way of doing it is that you fold the ribbon or the thread in half, right? So you have a little loop and you pass it through the hole. Okay, here's my hole. There you are. And then just to do, you pass the thread, the two pieces of thread through that loop already. And then you don't have a knot there. Oops. You don't have a knot there like that. You have just like a little loop, and then you can make you can make a tiny knot there on the top, and there you are. You have it. Okay. So sometimes this paper is so thin that it kind of opens like awkwardly, but I think it's a good paper to try it out and to see the effect of what you want to do. So, and there you are, all done. So, you can have it, this loop can be, big or small, or, it's all up to your creative thing. Oh, the other thing that you can do is you can, you can like put a bead like over here, so like I did on this one, and put a bead so it's, it looks a little bit, it's more put together. And then the way I did this one, the bead kind of helps it close. So I didn't glue them together. I just left them unglued, but the bead is helping the bead is helping close the loop. And I think that's it. Other things that you can use, I just, you can use the bookbinding thread, you can use the ribbons, you can use yarn, anything that, you have around to, to make the little loop. Was this good? Did everybody finish one list? Okay. So I can show you now a couple of samples of how to use them, because, depending on the colors, like this is a good one. Oh, and this one has actually as a yarn, piece of yarn. So, this is very Thanksgiving, very Thanksgiving colors. And, there's a blue one just for any occasion. And so here's, so this is with the Mi-Tante, the Tante paper. And so it's a 6x6. So they kind of make big ones. But I like them, as I told you before, to make small ones. And this one is a 3.5. So I kind of cut in half the papers, the origami paper. So it's a 3.5. And then what I did was, you see something in the middle. So I did four big squares, 3.5, and then I put in the middle a tiny one that is, let's see, this is the half of, it's 2 inches. So I mix them up, and I can, and then I just use like, regular thread, so I can take this out so you can see how I did it. Right, so I glued one 4-inch square to or 3.5 square to a 2-inch square, and then just made like a pattern, and it's just a different way of doing it. And this one, like the one we just did, as pattern, and this one like this. So, it has, as a pattern outside, and then insides they are all, and then this one also has 6. Let's see if I have one with 5. No, they are all, I seem to like the 6 pattern. Okay. Now, the other way, seeing.
Maria,
Yes.
Karen asked if you could show the book one again. Did you still want to see that, Karen? And the bead?
Okay, yeah, I'll show that one. Okay, then. So, I'm a bookbinder, right? More before being a origami person. So I always try to, I love to do this for, these are like an ornament just by itself, like this. It's also an ornament, right? Can be an ornament, but so it can be an ornament closed, or it can be an ornament opened. Okay, and then I use the bead to kind of put a little bit of pressure on there. So this is the way it's opened, and then this is the way, and then if it's closed, it's like that, like a book.
That's just so clever. It's really cute.
So
the cover's the same size as the pages, right?
Yeah, so this one is, let's see, this one is, I think it's a little bit, I think it's 5. Yeah, this one is 5 inches. This one is a 5-inch, and then like a book closed, I think it's 2.5. Yeah.
Okay.
So closed is a 2.5 by 2.5, and the pages were 5 inches. I like to do this, like, I love these tiny books, and I use them like as name tags, like on the present, I put this, and then like maybe on the first one, I put like a letter or to where it goes. And I did one that it's, it can be a card that I can write, whatever, happy holidays. And I just used a little piece of washi tape. So washi tape, and I threaded this thing, and then so it's the same as that one, but what I did is that I put, you kind of don't see it, but I used some double-sided tape, and so this will go with instructions to the owner, so the person that gets it can take the back of the tape and fold it ourselves. Oops, fold it right. And it will have an ornament. So it's a do-it-yourself finish ornament, but I just thought it was a good, the only thing on this one, you just need to have the thread enough to long enough that when you open it, you have space to kind of go around.
Right.
Then, you know.
I love that because then you can send it to someone flat. That's pretty
Yes,
cool.
exactly. So I did one that I did a tiny one, and I put it on this vellum envelope, you know, closed with a little bit of washi tape. And let's move this guys away. So again, I have, oh, you don't see it, but there's a piece of like there's a piece of tape there, and everything is ready to go. So you just have to do it is attach the side with the side, and then you'll have the ornament. And this one has a lot of them, as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It has 8 squares, but these were tiny squares. These were well, 2.5 by 2.5 as well. But oops. Yeah. So the person that gets it, you know, just has to take the back of the tape and glue that, and then they'll have a tiny ornament as well. And I sometimes do this. I put them like on like at the dinner table, like with the name of the person, if like on the front, you know, by the glass, and then they know where to sit, and they'll get a treat at the end. Okay, so this one now. Yes.
Maria, we have another question about what is the two-sided patterned paper?
This one, the blue one.
Mm-hmm.
The blue one is also origami paper that, you know, if you go on Amazon, I know that you have this store in California, Dyson. What is the name of the store that you have? You guys keep talking about it on the meetings.
Daiso.
Daiso, yes. Okay,
Daiso,
so we don't have any
D-A-I-S-O.
of that here. At least that I looked. So this one's it's like this. It's origami paper, and so this particular collection has all these patterns, and there's more than one. You know, there's like maybe 5, and these are all 6 inches, but you know, they repeat a lot. And so there's a lot of sets like this. I have one that's a Christmas collection, and there's another brand. This one I just got, and it's Ito. I have never seen this. This was the first time, I think, because it's recycled paper. So I just thought it was very interesting. And there's a store that I think it's British. There you go. I'll put the link on the. Yes.
I also want to add that for people who are interested in this paper, this type of origami paper, there are 2 sources in the chat where people can check this out, including one through Amazon. It's in the chat.
Amazon has a lot of, let's see if I see the ones that I don't see the ones on, let's see this one, if I did this correctly. Yes, so the one I just put in, it has like a something that it's only for origami paper, and they make these sets, these boxes, and make in the teach you how to do some like some little ornament, kind of a fold that can go into that. So I have 3 more to show you. And this is, or actually 4. So this one, goes my sheds, I have more room here. This one is just, remember that I made you put a little sign in the corner so you know where the corners were. But, sometimes if you are in a hurry and you glue them not corner to corners, so you glue them other ways, but, in the end, they all turn out okay. Like on this one, I glued, one pointy to a corner. So, but, they still form some shape. So there's no wrongdoing here with those things. Okay, one that I worked on especially for you was another way of, this doesn't fit all in the screen, but so I made several, like a big one. I'll have lots of ornaments this holidays. I made a big one, or a big one that's not that big, but it's also like a 4-inch with a 2-inch, and then another 4-inch with another 2-inch, and then I string them so it makes a garland. Oh, you can see on my picture, not on the table, but so, and I just used some ribbon, and this one I didn't even, because I can move, oh yeah, thank you. I can move them around, they are not fixed, so I can still move them around. And, but, if you want them to be like always in the same place, you can just tie a little knot there, and then so it doesn't move. And but I was making so many, then I said, oh, this is a another cool way of doing it. And I have another, so I have like a book that I worked on, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. So that's, I think, when I first learned how to do this fold. And so this is a book about yeah. So it's like a winter, spring, summer, and fall. And I did a cross-stitched a little square of fabric. And then they all open. And this was supposed to be to put pictures inside of winter, spring, summer, and fall. But I ended up not doing yet, of course. But it's another way of using, and then I, just so the folds don't open. And oops. But I had a lot of fun with like embroidering this, and it's just it looks like a book as well. And I have one more that the reason I signed up for the San Diego Book for Hearts was at the time was that there was a project that we did, the 5 books exchange. Like you made 5 books and then you send them to people and then you got 5 in return. So, and I always love these collaborative projects. So I did this one on a class, and we were took, it was my second bookbinding class. And so there were only 4 of us, well, actually 3 students and the teacher. And so we all made 3 squares, and so we copied them, and then we copied the squares, and so everybody had the same squares to put together, and then we put them together whatever way we wanted. But so this was someone that did watercolors, and these ones are my photographs of ice. And this was also photographs of someone in Germany. And this was the teacher that she loved to draw. So we put them together the same way. So the only thing we did was that on the back, we used an extra fold, an extra, you see the points, and you see the points here. So we used the plain card so we could have a back and not the, you know, the front of the artwork. And then I made this little box that probably we are going to learn with Nancy Eckerly. And so, which is also like a kind of an origami box, and it's a keepsake.